I'm Sue Richardson. I live in Killcare and I love living here, love being on the coast. I suppose the reason we moved here was to give our family a different lifestyle, I suppose. We wanted them to grow up out of Sydney. I grew up in the western suburbs of Sydney, so it was a long way to come to the beach. So moving here was wonderful. It was a bit scary because we were I think Jordan was 10 months old and we'd never really been up here before. I think we had holidays at the entrance maybe, and it felt like it took forever to get up here. And then moving to a new place, it's hard, you don't know anybody, and I suppose, but because it was a smaller community, it made it a bit easier. I was a preschool teacher, so I used to love working with little kids, and that's really how I got into Curly Tales. I have my own business and I make feltboard stories for preschools and children as teaching resources. So that's really where it sprung from. It was just by chance, I suppose, thing that happened, and I suppose being from an early childhood background, it was right up my alley, and I'm fairly creative and like to cut and glue, can cut a straight line, like colours. Yeah, it's just a nice little cottage business that keeps me busy. So yeah, that's sort of how it started, and it's just grown, and we sell mainly to Sydney. We've been to Canberra, where else? Wollongong, and Central Coast. We do one called Eddie's Discovery, and it's about a little tadpole thought he was a fish, and then luckily in the end he works out that he's not a fish, he's a tadpole. So we do that one. We also do another one about a snail who was a bit sick and tired of his boring old shell and decided he'd like a bit of a makeover. So then the children are able to put different things on his shell, and then he realises in the end though that he just needed a good clean. So yeah, just talks about being sort of proud of yourself and happy with who you are in your own skin. Things like that, just nice concepts, colours and numbers, friendship, multiculturalism, just things like that little children should be learning about in preschools. Sometimes when maybe you're at a centre and they say, oh, the kids love that story, we do it all the time, and you just think, oh, that's nice. So it is nice getting good feedback. Look, it's really important, a sense of community to me. Having 4 children, you do spend a lot of time in the community, you meet lots of people, you're involved with school, other functions, things like that. Community means to me working together, being friends with each other, knowing your neighbours, knowing the people up the road, helping each other out when you can. The greatest hope for this community is that it doesn't continue to grow too quickly. The nice thing about where we live is that there's still the old fishermen's houses. You can still walk down the side of the road. You have to be a bit careful these days. You can walk out onto the flats and have a fish or just wander down the beach, whenever you like. I just don't want it to get too commercial, I suppose. If I can inspire my community to do one thing, it's a really tricky question, but I think maybe it would be to treat everyone a bit more equally. Having people walk a mile in other people's shoes, I think would be